Okay, this video is a book review. The name of the book is Against the Machine by Paul Kingsnorth. I'm going to show a couple paintings first because these paintings, they tell you what the book's about and they're beautiful paintings. So the first painting is called A Fox Caught in a Trap. If you like these paintings, you can just click the print screen button and you can save a copy of it. So Fox in a Trap by Gustave Courbet, the French artist from 1860. And the fox represents beautiful, magnificent Western civilization, which is dying. And some people say it's already dead. The fox is in a trap. The fox needs help. Without help, the fox is doomed. Okay? And only the cross can open the trap. Now, there's another French painter who made a very magnificent symbolic painting here. This one is called Anguish by Auguste Schenk from 1878. This is Western civilization. It's half dead and it's almost completely dead. The scavengers are closing in to finish it off. Okay? So, take a good look. Western civilization is dying. The greatest civilization, by far, by orders of magnitude, in all of the history of mankind. As a matter of fact, are the non-Western civilizations. What are they in comparison to Western civilization? Over 95% of beautiful painting, music, science, literature, architecture, it all comes from Western civilization. The other civilizations have had very little cultural aesthetic achievement in comparison. Very little scientific achievement in comparison. Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. I've studied this for decades. You know, we always love to bash the West, but the West is the best, and there's really nothing that can compare to it. If you're honest and objective about it, you will see. And it's being destroyed, and we're letting it be destroyed. Why? You know, what's coming has nothing good to replace it. So, Anguish by Auguste Schenk. All right, now Schenk made another painting, and this one is called Lost. And the message is there. The sheep are in trouble. You know, they got a couple dogs to protect them, but that's not going to hold off the wolves for long. They're either going to rally to the cross, or the sheep are doomed. That's reality. Rally to the cross. The cross is the only thing that can open the trap. Christian revival, or its history, it's toast. Here's a lovely photo of the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris. Rather magnificent. It's not only magnificent architecture, the cathedrals are the most beautiful buildings ever made, you know, starting in the 1200s. It's also symbolic of a lot of things. You know, a lot of major historical events happened in coronations in the Cathedral of Notre Dame. In addition, the great novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. And here's some stuff from The Hunchback of Notre Dame cover. Okay, it was published in 1831. So Victor Hugo was very young when he wrote the book, but it's still quite spectacular. And here is the Hunchback. Here is Esmeralda, the beautiful gypsy girl, and the Hunchback was in love with her. He did what he could to protect her, but the evil Archdeacon Frollo had betrayed the church and betrayed Esmeralda, and Hunchback tried to protect her. It's a beautiful story. It's a magnificent book. The best part of the whole book is when Esmeralda meets her long-lost mother. The writing of it is so perfect. It's like as good as it gets. Anyways, that's the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Well, here is Notre Dame Cathedral just a couple years ago. You know, they tried to burn it down. They almost succeeded. They did a temporary rebuild on it, but you know where this is headed. In Russia, in the 1900s, they burnt down over 48,000 churches. That's what's coming to France. That's what's coming to all of Europe. They're going to burn down all the churches. It's obvious. Slavery is coming back, and you know the proles are too stupid to recognize it. I hope there's a Christian revival and they prevent the burning down all the churches and the return of slavery. But that's what's coming. There's nothing ambiguous about it. Don't kid yourself. Either you believe in God or you don't, and if you don't, then you're just a talking ape and you have no rights except to shut up and do as you're told. Okay, so is the Cathedral of Notre Dame going to end up like these ruins here? This is a very famous song called "O God of Earth and Altar, bow down and hear our cry. Our earthly rulers falter. Our people drift and die. This is a poem by G.K. Chesterton, the great English poet who converted to Catholicism. I'll put a link to the song version of it by Tim Bouchon. It's a magnificent song. Okay, here's a quote by Theodore Dalrymple, a physician writer from England. He said, "The British are barbarians, camped out in the relics of an older and superior civilization, to whose beauties they are oblivious." Yeah, this new generation is just hopeless and stupid and weak and feminized. They're not able to protect Western civilization. It's very sad. They've been intentionally, deliberately feminized for decades, and it shows. Anyways, quote by Will Durant, the great historian: "All Western civilization is dying because it has lost the religious basis of its moral code. We are living in a post-Christian era. Civilization begins with religion and stoicism. Civilizations end with unbelief and the undisciplined pursuit of individual pleasure. A civilization is born stoic and it dies Epicurean." Okay. Now I'm going to just show you, here's the cover of the book, Against the Machine by Paul Kingsnorth, okay, on the unmaking of humanity. And he lives in Ireland. He sort of went to a rural area in Ireland to kind of get away from all the craziness. I'm going to show you this other historian too, another English historian. He's also Catholic. Whenever somebody knows history, they become Catholic. Protestantism just showed up in 1517 with Martin Luther. All the Protestant sects are formed by men. Catholic Church is formed by Christ and St. Peter, the first pope. Here's a quote by Christopher Dawson. "There has never been any unitary organization of Western culture, apart from the Christian Church, that provided an effective principle of social unity." The Catholic Church ran the European university system with the Latin language. Behind the ever-changing pattern of Western culture, there was a living faith which gave Europe a sense of spiritual community. In spite of all the conflicts and divisions that have marked its history, it is the Christian culture that has created Western man and the Western way of life. The Christian tradition is the most fundamental element in Western culture. Christianity is not only the basis of Western religion, it is also the basis of Western morals and Western social idealism. A society that loses its religion becomes sooner or later a society that loses its culture. So, the West is dying. It's like Friedrich Nietzsche had said, "God is dead and we have killed him." Man is not aware yet. Does it not seem that the sun is getting farther away? Is it not getting colder? What will this unleash? And you know what it unleashed. It unleashed the 1900s with the chaos and destruction from 1914 to 1918 and from 1930 to and through the 1930s through the big one, number 2. Here's a couple more lines from the book by Paul Kingsnorth. Again, this is a book that was like 340 pages. It really could have been about a 40-page essay. So there were some good lines in there, but these guys make their books too long. The ancient Greeks had heroic epics like the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Romans had the Aeneid by Virgil. Medieval, early Renaissance Christians had Dante's Divine Comedy. That was his epic, the Italian author. The Counter-Reformation had Torquato Tasso's Jerusalem Delivered about the Crusades. That was written in 1581. These are all the great historical epics of Western civilization. The Puritans had Milton's Paradise Lost in 1667. Later on, Tennyson, wrote about King Arthur and whatnot. And he said, an epic written today, instead of being heroic, would be about a tragedy, about the decline of the West. The machine is growing and getting stronger. So he calls the machine this push towards centralization of everything, towards computerization of everything, towards the internet of everything, towards AI just dehumanizing mankind. He said, the machine is growing stronger. Mankind and civilization are growing weaker. The best thing you can do is homeschool your children, throw away your TV, grow your own food. God came to earth in human form, and how did we treat him? We tortured and killed him. How can things be made better? To get back to the garden, we have to go through the cross. It's obvious. It's obvious. Anybody who knows history, anybody knows mankind, anybody knows the cycle of civilization, they either have a religious revival or they're toast. So let us hope that we have a revival.